Well, beautiful day. Today's Tuesday, the October 16th. And give you a little update on what's going on here. It's been slow going, but as you can see, I got the spindle off of that. And here are the backer plates with the brake shoes and all. Everything's still assembled. We didn't have to take any of that apart, which is good. They just basically come off. You got the 4 bolts there. As you can see, with the sandblasting, it was good, but it wouldn't reach a lot of those hard places. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably have to get down in there and sandblast some of that other crud, but I'm going to dig most of that off with a screwdriver putty knife, and that way when I sandblast it, it'll be easier to get off. I'm down to this point here with this spindle still on. You can maybe hear that. If you look, I don't know if you can see that or not. That's worn out. It's loose. That one was better than this one. But the problem I ran into was I bought the kingpin set. This is just a standard set that has the standard size pins and everything. They're in that brown paper there. But it don't fit. I mean, it fits, but it's too sloppy. And this is the other spindle. Might pop the look at these. Oops. Let me stop this and I'll reset this. Okay. Here's the bushings. This one wasn't too bad. This was the bottom one. Kind of boogered up, taken out a little bit, but you can see it still had some material, but it was getting worn. And look at this one. Ooh, it was worn through. That one was in pretty bad shape. That was the top one, and that went yeah, in here. This is the top, and I mean, the bore looks good and everything. No, that ain't the top. Let's see. I guess this is the top, yeah, because you can see, yeah, there's a little bit of a shiny spot in there. That's where that worn through. But fortunately, it hadn't wore into the spindle. But the problem is, this is the old kingpin, which is fair. But you can see there's some wear there, and it's all pitted. Well, it's just crappy metal. I mean, back in the day, I don't know when these were replaced. And what I ran into is that these kingpins are standard. They're standard size if you have no wear, if they've not been reamed out and put in oversized kingpins. Well, that's what had been done. And so I checked the diameter of these against the diameter of the new ones, and these are like 0.01 over. And this kingpin, when you take it over here and you stick it into this hole, it fits pretty tight, and that's exactly what you want. And you want to be able just to kind of like, I can't get it out. You want to kind of like just be able to pound that down into that hole somewhat so that it's really tight. And because the kingpin doesn't move. The kingpin is in there solid mounted, and that's what that little flat spot's for. And then there's a bolt that runs across that and holds that thing so it don't turn at all in that axle. And just your spindle rotates with these bushings in the top and the bottom on the top of the kingpin. Well, anyway, these kingpins were sloppy. I mean, you put it in and you could rattle it, and it's like, well, that ain't right, and it ain't gonna work. So, yeah, here's that bolt I was referring to. You can see the flat spot on that. This is the old one. You get new ones when you get the new kingpins. But anyway, I measured the diameter of this, and this was like 7.4 or 0.743, something of that extent. And these were 0.733. And okay, these were replaced at one time, and they went into an oversized kingpin. Well, I've got on to my reference pages, and let me stop this, and I'm going to zoom back out again. Anyway, yeah, I went in and checked my. I have a CD that's got all the parts, you know, and you got to have one of those things that it's got the old factory numbers and all that stuff. Well, anyway, come to find out, and checking with the filling station catalog, which is excellent. They provide so many parts that you can't find. But the filling station, the kit that they recommended for this truck is this kit right here. Okay, and that's a 7.7335 by 5 1/8, something like that. Anyway, they do not provide an oversized kit. But if you look on the original, that I don't even know what you want to call it, parts book, that CD that I have, they do list an oversized kingpin set, and it fits a 37 to 39 half-ton. Alright, so they do have one, and it's a .010 oversized, which would be perfect. That would work for this. But it's worth 37. Okay? So now this is where the filling station comes into play, because they have all the different years, what different kingpins, I mean, they list them out, and the same kingpin that they list for the 36, this set right here, will fit a 37 through 39. So that tells me that this length is the same length on a 37 through 39 as it is for a 36. Okay, and I mean, I don't understand why they didn't go from 35 to 39 and just cover them all. I don't understand that, but anyway, the only oversized kingpins that they make are for 37 through 39. So I'm going, okay. So I got onto eBay, and I had the number, the old part number from, you know, way back, and I typed in the Chevy kingpin with that number, and wouldn't you know, it brings up a guy had a set, an old NOS set of kingpins that would fit for a 37 through 39, and they were the oversize, the .010. And I went, man, isn't that incredible? I mean, what a find to be able to find that, because they just didn't. I mean, everybody that makes replacement kingpins has just got standard sizes. And so I thought, well, what am I going to do? You know, how am I going to make that fit into that hole? Because it'll work. I took the bushings out of this kit and put them in, you know, tried to size them here, and they will, you know, press in. I mean, they're big enough, the OD on them is big enough that they actually will have to press in there, so they just don't slop them in, which is good. And I thought, well, that's cool. I mean, everything will work there, but the kingpin was too big or too small for this hole. And so now, with the oversized kingpin, the bushings come with it, and everything, one of these bolts and the caps, everything, shims. And so what I'm hoping is that these bushings for the oversize will fit in these holes. I'm hoping that they're a little bit thinner walled than these stock ones. And if they do, then we'll be in like Finnegan. I mean, I'll just be able to press them in. Probably have to run a hone up through them to kind of clean them up a little bit. And take the kingpin, be able to slide that in there with no play. And I know that it'll fit in this hole. Because, like I just showed you, that kingpin fits tight. That the one that I pulled out. And now the other question is, I'm hoping this size that when whoever replaced these before, which I believe they did, I mean it's obvious, you can see that they chiseled some stuff out of here. I don't know what the heck they did. Somebody did. But anyway, that this side is oversized too. I'm hoping that they made them, you know, the same, because the kingpins come in a kit. And what they did is they reamed the hole out on the axle. They reamed the hole out to fit those oversized, and then apparently the bushings press into the spindle, on my speculation, that they'll press into the spindle, and they are sized accordingly so that you don't have to, I don't know if you have to ream the entire spindle out along with the axle. That would make more sense, but I don't know. We'll wait and see until I get the new kingpins. But anyway, that's where we're at. You can see the frame. I've kind of wire brushed, or wire wheeled everything, I should say. Got rid of a lot of the crud up in here. Looks a lot cleaner. I have not touched the underside of it, but I do need to get up behind in here. You can still see there's some crud up in there. And with a sandblaster and try to get that out. I want to take some of these little brackets off and things like that. But I've cleaned up the perches. They are okay. They're not perfect, but they're okay. And this is all of my to paint stuff. I was able to push out one of the balls like this out of the other end, and what I'm going to do, this is where the new tie rod ends will go in. I'm getting away from that old style, and but anyway, I'm going to buy some more tie rod ends, and I'm going to push this out, and this is going to be my new drag link. I'm going to get away from this old style. That style there. Yeah, what I'm going to do, I believe, is I'm going to have to check, because this is going to be the diameter of this. This is the tie rod, and this rod here is bigger than this drag link size. But what I'm going to do is get a rod this size. I'm going to run a die over the outside of it, cut right-hand threads in it, so that I can, these will be the tie rod ends that I'm going to purchase, so that I can thread that right onto the end of that rod, and then I'm going to have to find somebody that has some left-hand threads and they can do the other end. But I will cut this rod according to the length that I need for this drag link, so I get it the same length, and then it'll be somewhat adjustable, just like a tie rod. You know, before, those were never adjustable. You know, these were set in place. There's no way to adjust that other than, you know, a little bit up in there with the screwing in and out of the cups, but not much. So now I'll be able to adjust the drag link, which, like I said, it'll be, you can screw the rod in just like a tie rod, one way or the other, and you can make it go in or out. And so that'll be cool. That way I get rid of this old setup. It'll be a lot more firmer with a tie rod end like that. And what's nice is, you see, again, I might have the close-up focus. That's a straight shaft. This right here, there's no taper on it. Like the newer tie rods, they've got a taper on them on both sides. So you'd have to take and actually take these holes and taper them to make the new ones fit. Well, these old ones were designed to slide right into the straight bored hole. And so this hole right here for the drag links is a straight bore hole. So I'll be able to pump that out, put a tie rod in without having to get those things tapered. So that'll be cool. Anyway, that's where we're at. You can see I got parts laying all over the place. Trying to keep everything organized as best I can. Taking videos. My bearings, I don't know what I'm going to do there yet. But anyway, we'll get her back together. So, kind of a lengthy video here. I'm kind of rambling. But anyway, I kind of want to let everybody know what's going on. And, I don't know what happened there. But anyway, today I'm going to try to paint a lot of things. Get some more stuff cleaned up. I got all this to paint up there. Everything hanging on coat hangers, you can see. I was just kind of waiting to do it all at once. But, oh yeah, I just want to show you too my steering box. So far, that's the only thing that's gone together smoothly. I bought the, oh, there's an arm, I don't know what they call it, the shaft here. And it goes up inside there, and it was a bit worn. And so I replaced that and had new bushings and everything, so that was a good thing. And it fit. It was finally, I got something that, you know, that worked, that I bought off of eBay. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and sorry for the rambling here. And, anyway, we'll see you later.